also go back to the G, then step into the F. In today's piano tutorial, I'll share some main finger exercises that I include in my playing and you might like to include in your daily routine too. And let's check out some hidden problems that might be slowing your fingers down. Hi there, I'm Kylie and I love to share easy tips and tricks to inspire you to learn the love of music here on piano. Please give a like if you enjoy this video, as this will really help other people to find me with the algorithm too. Now let's get started on our lesson today and let's check that, well, first of all, that our chair is back far enough. We want to check that we're sitting on the front half of your chair or your stool, that it's high enough that your elbow can be making sort of a bit of an L shape without having to lean out too far or without being on top of the notes. And also let's check your shoulders too, because for many years my left shoulder was sitting up raised as I was playing, and that creates a lot of tension that's stopping our weight going down into the keys. So let's do 3 lifts and drops just to check that your shoulders are down in their right place. Okay, let's get into it. So for the first exercise, let's just do a 3-note pattern using our 1, our 2, and our 3. And we can go up the piano starting on a C note, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You might be quite slow at first, and that's fine. Just check that each finger is operating and lift and pass to the next one. This needs to be quite slow and careful, as well as you can time yourself really fast. Move to the next note, D, lift, E, and all the way up. You can also then come down, so 3rd finger on the C, all the way down, so C note, B, A, down, down, G, F, E, D, down, down, finish. So by doing this 3-note exercise, we can look at each finger learning to do their job. So if your fingers are sticking up, your 4 and your 5, to help you out, we want them to actually touch down as well. So we can either hold them down and then play, isolating the 1s, the 2s and the 3s, or they can just sit and touch. And if they are helping out a lot, then let's repeat that pattern 4 times. So here we go with the repeat. Lift and play each one, then to the D and check. You can freeze as well and check that the 4 and the 5 are touching down and not trying to help you out as you're going along. 4 times on each and then move up. The F pattern, check these are down. G pattern, pass to each one, don't hold them on and overlap, keep them going. A pattern. B pattern. 3, 4, and finish on the C. And then to come down, you can also do your 3, down, 4 times. B now, 4 times as well. Ones that down aren't sticking up to help out, drop them down. I think we're up to G now, here we go. Make sure these are touching down, go as slow as you need. E pattern, and then D pattern, this is our last one. 3 times, 4 times, and finish again on our C. So just by doing that C up to the C, it gives us a nice short pattern that we can do slowly. Make sure you go as slow as you need and repeat, checking that the other fingers are relaxed. So now with our 1, 2, 3s, let's use the left hand. So let's go up in the pattern with our 3, 2, 1. So instead of starting on this C with this hand, we're going to start on our middle finger down here. 3, 2, 1. 1. Make sure once again that you're lifting each finger as you go. And not bumping off, but holding the sound on, lift, play. And then up we go. Now to our D pattern. E, F, lift to E. And to F. G pattern. A, your 3 notes. Start on the B. And finish on the C. Then we can go down with our thumb. Thumb leads the way all the way. B there now. A, G now. F, E, D, and finish there on the C. If you have trouble with the pinky or the 4 sticking out and helping out, repeat the pattern, going really slowly. So let's with the left hand as well. Let's make sure these 4s and 5s are down, and let's do the slow repeat pattern as well, because this is a really golden exercise. I tell my students, we're really teaching each finger to do their own thing. So we want to go slowly, carefully, check that's down, and let's repeat so that we can make sure that nothing extra is sticking up and helping when they shouldn't. 3, 2, 1. Now move up to the D and check that these ones are down again. Keep lifting and playing. 3rd time, 4th time, and E now. Now up to the F here. And 4 times. Wiggle up again and just freeze and check that these ones are right hanging down. 3, 4, and stepping up. 4th time to the B. Last time, and finish on the C there. Let's go down as well with our 1, 2, 3. 2 times. 4th time, down we go. You might even touch your 4 and your 5 to check that they're down and relaxed. And down we go. Lift and play each finger. Really smoothly connected. And then the G. And the F. 2 times. 3, 4, and E. 3, 4, and one more. 3, 4, and finish that. So that is really worth doing slowly and carefully, because in the end, if we extend the exercise on, we can do it in 2, 3, 4s. And you can try and get it as fast as you can. And really listen out for even speed and even sound too. We don't want to thump anything out as we go. So don't be worried if your pinky and your other fingers are all waggling when you're going fast, because they can just be nice and relaxed. We can do 5, 4, 3 down there. So have a go even at that one. So my left hand and 3, 4, 5 are my weaker combination of fingers. Even if you can pick up your 4th finger, which is my weakest, just the tiniest little bit, then that will just have that finger doing its own independent work, which is exactly what we want, even if it's the tiniest movement. Now let's do a lift and drop your shoulders again 3 times. Make sure that everything is relaxed and hanging down so that we can let our weight down into the keys. And for this activity, let's do fifths. Let's do them maybe here up higher and here down lower. You could do an octave, but sometimes it's nice to have things out in front of our shoulders at the fifths out here. So maybe let's do 3 of these. my wrist is lifting up and just falling down. Okay, so we want to just make sure that our wrist is nice and level with our fingers and then up to our elbow. We don't want our wrist to sit up tall or drop down too low. But with this one, let's go 1, 2, 3. So we're bending our wrist up and falling down below the key bed there, if you can see. So falling down. And let's move up 1 and fall again. Fall everything down. And just keep going up in your fifths. So lift, fall, fall, and fall down. Make sure everything's downwards. Check you're not still up here, but you drop that down there. And last one. Okay, so with our falling fifths, let's also add some pedal. So you can do either some indirect pedaling so that we can have smooth sounds and smooth transitions, or we could do some direct pedaling that will enhance the sound as well as we play. If you're interested in more pedaling tips, then I'll link to a video as well to check that out. Once again, let's do a lift and drop and make sure that our shoulders are all hanging down into the keys. Let's now get our weight swinging down from our shoulders into the key bed by doing a C to G. So we're rocking and tipping our hand over a little bit and then rocking and tipping the other way. So a very exaggerated royal wave, or turning the tap on and off as we go. We want to really swing our weight from the C to G. Then we can go out to the A, make it bigger. We can also go back to the G, then step into the F. Back to the G, to the A again. You could extend it out further or come in narrower, but the idea is that whatever we're playing, we're using that rocking rotation for a really warm sound on the piano. You can practice this action on the keyboard as well, and even if you have a touch sensitive keyboard, you'll still get a really nice sound and a nice action that you're learning by getting that rocking motion going. Let's extend this now and swing between other pairs that we can have as combination. If we go C to F, with our 1 and our 4. We can practice rocking that way. We could also do 2 to 5, swing there. We could also do 3 to 5, 2 to 4, and I don't think we did 1 to 3, but to keep that rotating and rocking action happening, to swing that weight down to the left hand. So it's back to our C to G. Let's have a go at 4 to 1. And 5 to 2. Let's now make it 4 to 2. And 3 to 1. And 5 to 3. Other combinations down there in the left. Let's lift and drop our shoulders yet again. Make sure that they are falling right down by your side. We don't want to push them down below this point, but just have them hanging where they're comfortable. Let's move on to number 4, and this is to do with our wrists. So the good old Hanon are a set of exercises by the composer Hanon. They stretch over 6-note patterns that are covered by our 5 fingers. So they kind of usually go up in a pattern and then come down again in some form or other. Number 1 of Hanon, which is printed in C, and you can do it into any key. Let's do it in C though for today. Let's begin on our C, skipping up to E. And this pattern keeps going up all the fingers and then all the way down. So each time we skip from our pinky to our 4th finger. And the idea of these exercises is as you get them faster and faster, you can see that the wrist does a little arc from the pinky. When we get to there, instead of finishing on the C note where we could, we actually jump up to the G, and then we can go down with our wrist over, down, over, down, over, down, over, finish on our C. So let's step that through slowly now. So this is the slow-mo version. So on your pinky, stretch to your fourth finger up to your E. Over, one note at a time, down to E, over again. Come down a little, over, down a little, over. So keep stepping that bottom note up, leads the pattern to the A. B is our last pattern, down again. Instead of finishing on the C, we can go straight to our G, skip down, use every finger stepping up to the F, skip down, every finger stepping up to the E, then to the D, C, E, A. One more from our G to the B and finish on the C then after our E. Okay, so when we start to combine our hands together, this one goes in the opposite way. So we're going under here, over from our pinky, under, skip that note up as we go, use every finger down to the F, and over we go. Skip the note again, up to the F, and over we go with our pinky, under the keyboard and up over the top. When we get to the D, instead of ending on the C, we're going to go back to our pinky again on the G, skip down, F, stretch down to the fourth finger there, E, stretch down, C, skip down, every finger, over from our pinky, under with our thumb, wrist over, under, one more, and finish on the C. Takes us to the full pattern there with each hand separate. Now let's have a go together and I'll show you how the wrists move actually in opposite arcing motions. So we have our weight falling down, we have our rotating with our wrist, and also a lot in playing, we need to allow our wrist to move under or over the level of the key height. They swap. So the pinky's going over, then this pinky goes over. Swapping over, under or over together, under or over together. So I'm exaggerating it at the moment. As we go faster though, swap it over. See if you can get your pattern a bit faster. And the movement just becomes a bit smaller and a bit more subtle. One more. So you might start off doing ta 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 as we go up. Then you might go to TTs and do the whole pattern like that. Or you might go ticka 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 ticka. See how fast you can get it. And we'll finish that one there. So with the Hanon activity also, we want to make sure that we're being really even with our rhythm with our fingers and also really even in sound. One of the hidden problems that you might not be aware that you're doing is that if you're playing on the side of your thumb, this is actually going to pull your wrist down each time that we play. So if we're playing here, then you can see that my wrist actually has to go down in order to play my thumb as I'm going along. But if we can stand it up onto more this corner here, then you can see straight away that that lets my wrist come up in line with my hand there. So we want to make sure that we keep stomping on that kind of corner is actually the tip of where we play. The next hidden problem that you might not be aware that you're doing is that your knuckles may be collapsing as you play. So I'll show you this way. So often if we have our, maybe I can show you down here. So often with people's second finger or their fourth finger, they're kind of easy ones. I'll show you down here as well. They're kind of easy ones to let that knuckle go in on, where we want to try and keep our knuckles out rather than letting them collapse in that way. If you can see that there, we want to pop it out the other way to really support how our finger connects with the key, and that lets our weight stay in and connected as well instead of going off into different directions. The third problem that you might not be aware that you're doing when you're playing is that we can often play with really stiff wrists. So when people are playing this note or this note, or even chords together, we might be keeping our wrist up. So make sure that you really think of letting this bend down. We're almost to the wood down there as well, but right down below the key bed as we fall down to them. If you want to just do that one a few times, make sure that whatever finger you play on, we're going right down and letting this drop. If we keep it stiff up here and have our wrist bending upwards, then we can actually have quite a harsh sound, and we're not letting any of that weight give a beautiful warm sound out of the piano. So with our wrists, check that we're bending them, check that we're rotating, check that we're letting them arc and flow up and down the notes as we move around. And remember to check your shoulders. So as you come to the piano, whatever you're doing as you're playing pieces, as you're doing any finger or tech work, just check that your shoulders are down and that you're feeling relaxed and comfy. Well, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. And check out this video if you want a bit more tech info, and also this video has some other beautiful improvisation piano tutorials. Enjoy and happy music making. Ta-da!